Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. Today I'm joined by Tim Welsh, the Vice Chair of U.S. Bank. Tim, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much. Great to be with you, Abby.
Well, let's dive in. A great deal of your career involved consumer behavior and creating strategies to respond to consumer preferences. How difficult is it to keep up with evolving consumer behaviors today versus the past? And what are some creative ways that you're keeping abreast of consumer and small business trends?
It's such an important question, Abby, because what we're seeing with consumers is that their behaviors are changing at an extraordinarily rapid rate. And the expectations that they have of how banking services will be delivered is not necessarily set by the best experience that they have with a bank. Their expectations are set by the best digital and human experiences that they have anywhere. So if they have an app on their phone, or if they go to a company and they have extraordinary service, they expect that banks will be able to provide that level of service as well. And so we have to be constantly raising our game on the digital side and the human side so that we're providing more and more value and at a pace that is keeping up with those consumers. You know, the good news from our perspective is we wake up every morning to do one thing, which we call powering human potential. It's our purpose. And when you're that focused on making the lives of families better, you just get energized and inspired to keep adapting and changing and growing with them. So that's really why we do it. It aligns with our purpose, and it's really a privilege and exciting to be able to keep up with all the changes they've got going on.
Indeed. While digital assets such as cryptocurrencies and NFTs are still in the process of being legitimized by the government, the underlying blockchain technology does hold a great deal of potential in transforming the economy. From your perspective, in what ways do you believe blockchain could shape the future of the banking industry?
Well, what I think is really exciting about these new technologies, not just blockchain, but a whole series of these kind of innovations, is that they're creating possibilities that we haven't seen before. And certainly the blockchain does that. And I think we're at the very early stages of seeing the many different use cases of this. And I would draw an analogy to where we were 4 or 5 years ago with your app in your banking system. So if 4 or 5 years ago, your app was largely a tool that you use to check your balance. Today, the app is something that you use in banking for virtually everything, right? You can do essentially any activity on your phone. I can easily imagine that the technologies from blockchain will be similar in that we will find all kinds of new uses for them and that they will create opportunities that we haven't yet imagined.
In your interview with Invest Minneapolis St. Paul, you mentioned Project Access, an initiative meant to address Black homeownership. How does this initiative exemplify the creative approaches necessary to address complex, long-standing issues? And what other innovative ideas are you discussing with your team that the wider industry could look to emulate?
Well, a number of things here. I think, Abby, that what's important about this is Project Access is about us living up to our purpose and values, powering human potential, doing the right thing, finding strength and diversity. Those are the values at stake. And we've got to live up to that. And when we say power potential, we mean powering the potential of every single one of our clients in every single community that we serve. One of the innovative ways, Abby, that we've been doing that as an example is we recognized here in Minneapolis, where our bank is based, that if we wanted to serve the Black community well, we could do a lot of things, but we could also do things in conjunction with other banks. So together with 4 other large banks, we came together and said, we want to bring a Black-owned bank to this community. And our 5 banks together welcomed First Independence Bank, which is a Detroit-based minority deposit institution. Their first branch outside of Detroit opened in Minneapolis last month as a result of 5 banks working together to do something that has never been done anywhere in the country. And this is an example of the kind of innovation that we all need to be doing if we're really going to serve communities that have been historically disadvantaged. We're going to serve them well. And that's what Project Access is all about. We have lots of other stories about how we're working on home ownership and helping educate people about that. But the First Independence Bank is a very vivid and tangible example of how we as an industry can do things differently to help serve the Black community and other underrepresented communities in new ways.
Absolutely. And as we round out today's discussion, what role does creativity play in remaining competitive in today's landscape?
Abby, one of the things that I get so excited about is that banking is changing at an incredibly rapid rate because, as we talked about earlier, our customers' expectations are changing so rapidly. And what I do know is that 3 years from now, banking is going to look very different than it does today. And 3 years from then, it's going to look even more different. And where creativity comes in is we've got to be constantly coming up with new ideas to solve our clients' issues and to help them in ways that they've never imagined. And that's what really makes this fun. We get to wake up every morning thinking that we can make a difference in the lives of millions of our clients by being creative, using our passions and energy to help them in new and innovative ways. And I got to tell you, Abby, it is such a joy to see our teams who are now back together, working in unbelievably fun problem-solving ways, coming up with ideas nobody's ever thought of, testing and piloting. It's really exciting to see that creativity in action.
Well, I can feel the excitement from here. Tim, thank you very much for our discussion today.
Great to be with you. Thanks again for the invitation.
That was Tim Welsh, the Vice Chair of U.S. Bank. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to hear more CEOs and thought leaders share their opinions and advice on today's business climate. Until next time, I'm Abby Maloney, and this has been Invest Insights. Thanks for tuning in.